Welcome to the Madroit Podcast. We bring you bite-sized marketing and sales insights to help you level up, no matter the size of your business. Tune in and answer the big question, what does marketing actually do?
Welcome everyone, Jordan and Winston back with you, and on today's episode, we are going to cover 6 simple things for your website to be effective. Let's kick it off here and just answer the very simple one first, right? Why is your website so important?
Yeah, your website, it's so important. It's either your first impression or your second impression. It's your digital storefront, and it's a salesperson that's always working for you.
So let's go ahead and hop into what these 6 things are. First one that we'll just kick off is the big 3, right? The 3 things that are going to make your site better than most out there is color, spacing, and content, right? And when we talk about content, we're referring specifically to the text and the images that are on your site. And these 3 things are ultimately going to be very important components to selling your services and your business.
Love it. To me, just to add that, you don't sell websites, right? Unless you are a marketing agency like we have, but you don't sell websites. You sell services, team, care, right? So your website needs to communicate that effectively and simply. Doing those 3 things makes your site better than 90% out there.
I 100% agree. Another key differentiating factor for websites is who's it for? Who is your website designed for, and who is it designed to really bring in? So with that, we're talking about who your target customers, your clients, or patients are. What impressions do you want them to have when they see your website? So for example, something like a dental office or something like that, we'll want to make sure that it feels very welcoming, very inviting, and that if it's a family-focused dental office, then they're going to make sure that there's pictures of the family so that it can have that emotional pull to everybody involved. So what's another thing that you think of when it comes to that?
Yeah, an action, right? Like a call to action. Give someone action on each page of the website.
Yes.
Give them the next action they need to take to move them forward towards achieving their goals, right? Or getting the care that they need or the services that they need. If you confuse them, you lose them, right? So make it easy for them to know what the next action is, and then make it easy for them to follow that.
Yes. So what are we talking about there? We're talking about the flow, right? We're talking about the journey that your customer, client, patient is on when they come to your website. So we want it to be skimmable and readable. Not everybody's going to read every single word on every page of your website, and you should not expect them to necessarily. So some are going to read one little tidbit and then they're going to make a call. Some may read 5 and may shop your site for a while before they're actually going to decide to take that next step. But your website has to be accommodating to both sets of people that are coming to your website. So after we make it skimmable and readable, and after we make it very clear and obviously what we want them to do, another key element that we talk about often with folks is the 5 W's. Can you walk us through those?
Absolutely. So people want to know these things when they're working with anyone, right? Whether it's in person or going through your website or both. What do you do? Who are you? Why you do the thing that you're offering? Who you do it for? And when and where you work, right? Answering those 5 things makes it very clear to someone if they're a good fit to work with you. And you obviously want to make it well known that you're easy to work with and attract the right people. So you want to answer those things on your website. And if you do that, you are helping yourself out immensely.
I could not possibly agree more. Again, it goes a long way towards making it very easy and very transparent for them. Transparency equals trust, and trust ultimately leads to very positive relationships. With that, I think one of the things that ties into that positive experience is doing the little things well. When you look at, I'm a big sports guy, so when we look at people like Kobe Bryant, Michael Jordan, Tim Duncan, they always took pride in doing the little things really well, which ultimately separated them for the duration of their careers. Having your phone numbers work, right? It seems like something so little, but make sure it works, right? To call or to text to make sure that they can get in touch with you. The reviews on your website, not letting them just sit on Google by themselves, but make sure that they're accessible from your website as well. Your page speed is something that I think cannot possibly be overstated as an important element. If your website is taking 3, 4, 5 seconds to load, odds are you probably already lost them.
90% chance.
It's such an important element, and a lot of people don't necessarily take the time to, I think, really dive into how valuable that is. Mobile friendly, this day and age, it 100%, you can't be negotiated. It has to work on mobile. Not only does it have to work, but it has to be in some ways catered to mobile, right? People are going to search there more often than desktop or tablet or anything else. So make sure it works there. Last but not least, what's the last thing that we want to really stress here?
I can't tell you how often I see all of these issues, but links not working. Links
Yes.
go to a staging website or to the wrong site or to no site, and it's supposed to be a link and it's not there, it goes to the wrong place. How maddening is that for someone who's trying to navigate to work with you? You want to make it easy. Along the same vein, pages go where they should go. I can't tell you how often I see where it's just going to the wrong page. Mention a service that goes to a different service.
And not only is it frustrating for the user because now, okay, the link doesn't work or the page doesn't work, man, that stinks. It's also a huge knock on you. Like your credibility has just gone out the window because of one broken link. And it may seem like we're being a little bit harsh with that, but honestly, if it's their first experience with you and their first experience is, man, oh, click here to download this or click here to go to see what happened in this before and after picture, and it's broken or it takes them somewhere else, that's extremely damaging to your reputation.
It is. It really is. And going back to the three big things, the color, content, spacing too, if the service you provide, the care you provide is, you call it an A-level work, right? But your website is C-level, that story doesn't quite make sense. There's friction there. But if it's cohesive and the journey is similar to how someone would interact with you in person as it is on the website, that story makes sense. The friction is reduced there. So people are ultimately more likely to buy it.
I would say it's right up there with the equivalent of you running into somebody randomly in public that you don't know and just saying, hey, I am the best joke teller in the world. Trust me. And that's the end, right? And then you just expect them to do it.
Love that example.
Right? It truly is on par with that. And again, making sure that you take the extra time to do the little things right is just make or break for your website.
Absolutely. A couple other things. Having a generic contact us page versus a main call to action page like request a quote or request a consultation, something like that. Contact us feels like last ditch effort and you don't really care. But a dedicated page for that, it really is so beneficial as we see for our clients and a wasted opportunity for so many out there. Last little thing here, filler text on the website, like it looks like Latin filler text often, and can't tell you how often we see that when clients come over from other agencies or we just see it in the wild. The amount of filler text means just, again, that story has to make sense. And do you pay attention to the details of the service or work you provide for your clients, customers, patients? Like the website's telling me not quite, right? So yeah, huge thing there.
I'd say one more thing to consider as we're going through CTAs, right? Your calls to action. I think you hit a really cool point there with the contact us in particular about that being like the last ditch effort, or maybe it's the catch all, right? But there has to be a more thorough, depending on your industry, right? But a lot of times it's very beneficial to have a more thorough way for them to engage, right? If they are signing up for your newsletter, was one way that they can get involved, or if it's to schedule an appointment or to schedule a meeting or something like that. But then having that general contact us still there as, hey, here's the 3 different levels that you can use to get in touch with us and to engage with us. One could be more involved than the other. Another could be middle of the road, and one could be very like open. But we actually just had this discussion in a couple months ago with a client. And I think the benefit of saying you can get as involved with us as you want to, or as minimally involved with us as you want to, it really kind of gives them options. I think it really gives them options, but it also reduces that friction for them to deepen their impression with you.
It's so important. Talking with others too, right? Like talk to someone, they didn't want a form on their website. Okay, well, what if someone's reaching out or wants to reach out at 9 p.m. at night, you're not open, but they're not going to call you and leave a voicemail. They want you to take the next step, but you You need a place to capture so they can at least make it easy for you to do so. Listing an email, sure, that can be helpful too, right? But like, yeah, something as little as that. Meet people where they're at, like you're saying.
Yes, that's the biggest thing. Let me have the opportunity as a consumer to be as passive or as aggressive as I want to be, because creating those levels for your consumer ultimately equals more people coming in, more people engaging with you, which is what we all are looking for with our
Absolutely.
websites. All right, guys. So just to slam home again today, we want you to nail these 6 simple things for your website to be effective, to help with your marketing and sales.
That's all for this episode of the Madroit Podcast. Please make sure to like and subscribe. If you have any questions that you want us to talk about on the pod or want to get in touch with us, please visit madroitmarketing.com/podcast. Thanks for listening.